Hey guys, what's going on? Today I want to show you how to make a classic margherita pizza from scratch. It's packed full of flavour and pretty easy to make. Simplicity at its best. So for the pizza dough, in the bowl of a stand mixer combine 00 flour, salt and yeast, but separate the salt from the yeast because they're arch enemies. Salt and yeast do not get along. Salt will kill yeast eventually. And if you can't find 00, use either bread flour or plain flour. Now we're going to mix this over low speed using the paddle attachment. Then you're going to slowly pour in some cold water that's 4 degrees Celsius. Then pour in extra virgin olive oil right after. Try to pick a good quality olive oil, one that's got a nice amount of flavour, because that's going to give the pizza a nice flavour too. But I totally understand if you can't get the best stuff because it can be quite expensive. Now you're going to change the paddle attachment to a dough hook, and you're going to knead the dough with medium high speed for about 5 to 7 minutes until the dough is nice smooth and elastic. And it should come away from the sides like that, but still stick to the bottom. If it just come away from the bottom, add a teaspoon or 2 of water, and vice versa. If it doesn't come away from the sides, add a bit of flour until it does. Now lightly dust your bench with some flour, and also make sure your hands are coated in the flour as well. That will make your life a bit easier when it comes to taking the dough out of the bowl, as the dough is still quite sticky and it would be a nightmare to get out of the bowl if you didn't. Now lightly dust the dough with some flour and form it into a rough log shape. Now get yourself a pastry cutter and lightly flour it and cut into 3. If you don't have a pastry cutter, you can use the back of a knife too, but be careful it doesn't damage your countertop. Now individually shape each piece of dough into a smooth ball. Now once you shape the dough into balls, get yourself a large baking tray. Make sure the tray is large enough for the dough to expand, and line the bottom of the tray with some non-stick parchment paper, and also grease it with some extra virgin olive oil. That's going to reduce the chances of the dough sticking to the tray. And also I like to lightly grease the dough as well. That will stop the dough from drying out, because you got to look after these, because you don't want them drying out on you. The pizzas won't be as good. Now I'm going to cover the tray with cling film. If you're not a fan of cling film, you can easily substitute this with a damp tea towel. Just make sure it's nicely covered. The great thing about this pizza dough recipe is that you can make this dough 3-4 days in advance and just leave it in the fridge. There are so many benefits to proving your pizza dough in the fridge. It improves the flavour and it also improves the texture. If you've never tried it, give it a shot. So now that's the pizza dough done. We're going to forget about that because that's going to be in the fridge overnight. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you how to make a really easy Italian tomato sauce. Guys, it does not get any easier than this one. There's no cooking involved, but it tastes amazing. I hope you give this one a shot. I guarantee you will like it. So here I've got a can of Italian cherry tomatoes in a tin with its juices. If you can't find these, you can easily use a tin of whole plum tomatoes that work just as good. Now rinse the can under cold water to get every last bit of juice out of the can, because you don't want to waste anything. Along with 1 garlic clove which I've lightly crushed, obviously take the skin off, and a light drizzle of olive oil, about a tablespoon. Now season, bit of salt. Now blend until nice and smooth. Now obviously don't forget about the tasting. You've always got to taste your sauce to see if you've seasoned it enough. Oh, it needs a bit of salt. So a bit of salt, and I'm also going to add a bit of black pepper as well. Bit of heat. Now just give it a quick mix and taste again to see if it's up to your desired taste. Mine's brilliant, perfect. Now you're going to pour into a bowl and store in the fridge until we need it. And also guys, you can make this sauce up to 2 days in advance if you wish. Now it's been 24 hours later. It's time to get your dough out the fridge. Remove the desired number of dough balls from your tray, and whatever you're not using, pour it back in the fridge. But don't forget to cover with cling film because it will dry out, and it will last in the fridge up to 3 days. But if you want to make a pizza in the future, this dough freezes very well. Place the dough individually in Ziploc bags and they'll freeze up to 3 months. Anyway, place the dough that you are using today onto a lightly floured work surface. Stretch it out gently until it reaches a diameter of 5 inches and about ½ inch thick. Then simply just loosely cover with some cling film. Now I'm going to let that dough rest at room temperature for about 2 hours. Now get your pizza peel and you're going to lightly dust it with either flour or semolina. It's up to you. That's going to stop the dough from sticking. If you don't have a pizza peel, you can turn a baking tray upside down and lightly flour it exactly the same. But if you fancied one, I've placed a link in the description for the one I've used in this video. And you're also going to lightly flour your hands as well to stop the dough from sticking to you. Once you've done that, you're going to get yourself a dough scraper and gently release it from the bench. If you do not have a dough scraper, you can probably use a spatula instead. And carefully and gently place it on top of your knuckles, and this is a bit challenging. You're going to carefully stretch it out by bouncing it in a circular motion. And by the end, you want your pizza to be about 9 to 10 inches. But be careful, try your best to not put a hole in it, because that wouldn't be ideal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to assemble our pizza. Place your dough onto your peel. Now you're gonna get your beautiful tomato sauce that you worked so hard on. Jokes, it only took you like less than 30 seconds. Now add about a tablespoon of tomato sauce, spreading it around evenly, leaving about an inch off the edge. Then top it with some fresh mozzarella. I'm adding 3 slices, but you can add more if you wish. And then top that with some fresh basil. I just like to tear it and dot it here and there and everywhere. And last but not least, I like to drizzle over some extra virgin olive oil. Make sure your oven has been preheated for 1 hour at the highest setting your oven can possibly go to make sure the pizza stone is red hot. And also make sure your pizza stone is placed in the lower third of the oven. And cook the pizza for about 8 to 10 minutes there and thereabouts. Then give it a spin to get a nice even cooking, and cook for an additional 4 to 5 minutes until bubbling on the surface, a nice golden brown crust is formed. And it's as easy as that, guys. That's how you make a classic margherita pizza in your own home from scratch. Oh yeah, man. Come on, have a look at that. Magnifique. Before slicing, just let the pizza sit for a few minutes, just allow the cheese to settle. Now it is time to slice your pizza. Come on, did you hear that crunch? Alright, there you go, there is my classic Italian margherita pizza. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. See ya!